Welcome to NFL News with Sylvester. Behind the desk is your co-host, Sylvester. Well, Sylvester, it's been a while since there was an edition of NFL News with Sylvester. We'll start with the scores of the games that are already completed. In the Thursday night game, which saw the Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa leave with a concussion, Buffalo Bills won the match over the Miami Dolphins. It was the Buffalo Bills 31, the Miami Dolphins 10. In our Sunday afternoon games, we start with the San Francisco 49ers visiting the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings, in a surprise win, won their match over the San Francisco 49ers. The final score was San Francisco 49ers 17, Minnesota Vikings 23. Last week's win for New England was a one-off because this week they lost to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks scored 23 points to the New England's 20 points. So the final score was Seattle Seahawks 23, New England Patriots 20. The New York Giants lost a close match to the Washington Commanders. The final score was New York Giants 18, the Washington Commanders 21. In Carolina, the Panthers only managed a field goal to the Los Angeles Chargers. The final score was Los Angeles Chargers 26, the Carolina Panthers 3. The New Orleans Saints scored a surprising victory over the Dallas Cowboys. The final score was New Orleans Saints 44, Dallas Cowboys 10. The Indianapolis Colts lost to the Green Bay Packers by only 6 points. The final score was Indianapolis Colts 10, the Green Bay Packers 16. It's noted that in that game, Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love did not play in that game. In another surprising victory, the Cleveland Browns won their match over the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was the Cleveland Browns 16 and the Jacksonville Jaguars 13. Here are the remaining 3 games that have completed. Right now, it was the New York Jets over the Tennessee Titans. The final score was New York Jets 24, Tennessee Titans 17. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers avenged their last season's playoff loss to the Detroit Lions by winning the game in Detroit. It was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20, Detroit Lions 16. The Las Vegas Raiders surprised the Baltimore Ravens. The final score was the Las Vegas Raiders 26, the Baltimore Ravens 23. Currently in the third quarter, the Rams have only scored a field goal. And the Arizona Cardinals have 24 points. The Cincinnati Bengals are in a close match with the Kansas City Chiefs. It's only in the second quarter with a minute 37 remaining in the half. But currently the Cincinnati Bengals 13 and the Kansas City Chiefs 10. And also out west, it's in the second quarter. The Pittsburgh Steelers have one touchdown, Pittsburgh Steelers 7, and the Denver Broncos have not had any points on the board yet. Chicago Bears and Houston Texans is today, Sunday night at 8:20 p.m. And tomorrow night, it's the Monday Night Football game with the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, Sylvester, we'll start the first news item with the notable injury report. So we'll start our first story of notable injuries on the Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa sustained a concussion in the third quarter in the game between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. In the third quarter, Tua Tagovailoa was running for a first down. Tua ran head first into the midsection of Buffalo Bills defender Damar Hamlin. Tua ended up on his back. While lying down on his back, Tua could be seen visibly shaking. Tua also displayed a concussion symptom of having both arms raised up and also some fingers curled. Players from both teams immediately knew the severity of the current situation. Tua Tagovailoa walked off the field of play. Tua did not return to the game. Tua's status is still unknown for his long-term playing career. For our second story on the injury report, Sylvester, we will go to the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers Jordan Love sustained an injury in the closing of the fourth quarter in the game against the Philadelphia Eagles. With less than a minute left in the game, Jordan Love left the game with an apparent leg injury. Backup quarterback Malik Willis finished the game for the final 2 snaps. Though the knee injury is not season-ending for Jordan, the Green Bay Packers has Jordan Love listed as questionable for Sunday's home game against the Indianapolis Colts. Our third story on the injury report, we will go to the San Francisco 49ers. Well, Sylvester, San Francisco 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey is now officially listed on the injured reserve list. Christian McCaffrey will be out for at least the next 4 games. Christian McCaffrey sat out most of the training camp and did not participate in the preseason. It was the last-minute decision to sit the first game of the season, but now that the San Francisco 49ers listed Christian on the injured reserve list, it's now apparent that he will be missing at least another 4 games due to the calf injury, which also has tendonitis. Well, Sylvester, on our fourth story of the injured news item, we go to the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson. Quarterback Russell Wilson was unable to play in the first regular season game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin, said to the press that Russell Wilson is nursing a calf injury and was unable to start for Week 1. Quarterback Justin Fields started for Pittsburgh in the first game of the season. As far as the second game of the season, it is unknown if Russell Wilson is able to play on Sunday in Denver. Well, Sylvester, if the injury didn't happen, this definitely would have been billed as a revenge game for Russell Wilson coming back in Week 2 to his former team, the Denver Broncos. Okay, Sylvester, on our fifth story, of the injured news item, we go to the Buffalo Bills and linebacker Terrell Bernard. Terrell Bernard is a key component to the Buffalo Bills defense, but was injured in the game against the Miami Dolphins. The injury was to the pectoral muscle, but unlike teammate Matt Milano's injury, which is a torn pectoral muscle, Terrell did not suffer long-term effects. Coach Sean McDermott of the Buffalo Bills said it was still too early to rule out how long that Terrell Bernard will be out. Discussions are still taking place with Terrell and team medical staff on the severity of the injury, and it's still unclear if Terrell will be able to play in the next game for the Buffalo Bills. Well, Sylvester, for our second news item, we go to the Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was briefly detained before the start of the first game of their regular season against the Jacksonville Jaguars. On September the 8th, Tyreek Hill was driving to the stadium in the Miami area. He was stopped for a traffic incident by the Miami-Dade police near the home stadium of the Miami Dolphins. Visual inspection of speeding is what I remember hearing the reason to stop Tyreek Hill. Well, Sylvester, upon watching the video of Tyreek's incident, I heard the exchange just once between Miami Dolphins player Tyreek Hill and a Miami-Dade police officer. Due to the celebrity status of Tyreek Hill, this becomes more than sports news. Sylvester, I was aware of this story on the day it happened, but I never looked at the news regarding this matter because I was going to look into the full story while the script was being done on the tablet for NFL News with Sylvester. Well, Sylvester, I'll just report that Tyreek was temporarily detained. Tyreek was on the curb sitting with handcuffs. Tyreek Hill was released, and Tyreek did play for the Miami Dolphins in the game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. On our third news item, Sylvester, we go to the former New Orleans Saints safety, Steve Gleason. Steve Gleason needed emergency care, but it was an unusual time because it was just as the tropical storm just went over the New Orleans, Louisiana area. Paramedics were able to reach Steve Gleason, and Steve Gleason did get the emergency care that he needed. But Sylvester, what makes this important is that Steve Gleason has been diagnosed with ALS, which is commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Steve Gleason is wheelchair bound and unable to move out of his wheelchair. Steve Gleason is recovering and hopes to make it back home soon. On our fourth news item, I just wanted to have some fun with the news this week, where Tom Brady is somehow in the news in a rumor cycle, but it's only from one source, where it's a claim that Tom Brady may want to join the Miami Dolphins due to the injury of the Miami Dolphins quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. And, well, Sylvester, I was like, okay, we only have one source, but I really dug deeper and deeper to try to find more, and I didn't really see much. I was only, like I said, it was one person who is coming out with a claim that former New England Patriots quarterback and Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback 7-time Super Bowl winner Tom Brady was going to join the Miami Dolphins as an emergency. It kind of like not really there, but I couldn't help that. I spent so much time, Sylvester, on this story. I just wanted to bring it to your attention, and I know Sylvester's kind of looking at me saying, that was it? Just one source? Yes, that was it. Just one source. And what? And then Sylvester is asking now, like, well, what do other sources say? And I looked into the other sources, Sylvester, and it's like not a lot of like insiders, NFL insiders. They're like, we're not sure about this story. Tom Brady is currently employed as a analyst, in-game depth analyst for the NFL. I mean, is it for Fox Sports, and doing NFL games, and I also too like somehow I'm gonna say that stranger things have happened, Sylvester. I'll still keep a pulse on the story. I don't know if I'll bring it back up again, but like Sylvester, I'm just saying that if stranger things have happened, and if this really comes to fruition, that Tom Brady is in talks with the Miami Dolphins to come in as a emergency reserve backup. At least the start. At least I guess the start until he gets the, if I would say, Sylvester, this will make NFL breaking news, and we will do a we'll get you from wherever you are. I mean, I know you just came back from vacation, but we're going to do another edition of NFL News with Sylvester next week, but we definitely be doing NFL breaking news with Sylvester, and it would, if it's Tom Brady, I think. Well, you could see the look of skepticism on Sylvester there, but I guess Sylvester will have that surprised look on his face, like, yes, this is a story after all. And I too will be like, breaking news. Yes, the story might be true that Tom Brady is looking to see if he can make a comeback with the Miami Dolphins, and that would be just like it would be just breaking news across the sports NFL sports arena, everywhere. Every pundit, every sports news outlet will. This might even make like the Tyreek Hill morph into the regular news if this happens. This is just like I guess, Sylvester, I could say that one source, and I know you're still looking at me with that skepticism look on your face, is that one person just possibly just wanted to like be ahead of the curve if he was. Like, as they say, they score such a massive points with the public where all of a sudden they're like, hey, let's go on this that would, like, could you imagine if I was saying that? But what credibility would I have? But this person has credibility. I'm not gonna reveal the one source just yet, but because definitely I don't want to end up apologizing to this person if it comes so true. I don't want to poo-poo it either. This is NFL News with Sylvester, so we gotta look into it, even though it is, like you say, with that skepticism. Such, I can't stop laughing now. Sylvester just looks like, yeah, okay, well, I'm like you're with your right hand over there. You're looks like you're ready to punch it in. You know, Tom Brady chances of making it back to the NFL, and I'm gonna say I know Sylvester. It's gonna be a lot of fun just to between now and the next edition of NFL News with Sylvester. If we do come out with the NFL breaking news, I'm gonna just say it would. I don't know. It would be the funniest thing that can happen in a while. So, but with that, Sylvester, I had a good laugh at that story. I mean, I I don't. I would I like to see it happen? Sure, why not? To make it interesting. But we'll have to. Well, like I said, we'll just keep a pulse on that story, and we'll end the NFL news with the chuckle from there. And so this has been another another edition of NFL news with Sylvester. For both Sylvester and I, we're both saying over and out.